So let us start our analysis on May 2022 Advanced Accounting Question Paper. Okay, right. Now first, let me show you the questions one by one, sir, and I'll just tell you where it was covered in our material. Then I'll discuss what sort of changes was done and how we should be ready for our future examinations also when we are preparing our existing material. So hope you're all ready. Shall we make a start, sir? Okay, right. But anyway, before that, let me tell you one point. One of the very good question papers, sir, one of the very good recent question papers, which tells you question by question, telling that conceptual clarity is very, very important. I'll show you slowly. Okay, right. First, let me start with normal chapters, sir. You know, question number 1 is always standards. We'll come back to the standards at the end. First, let me start with normal chapters. Now, maybe your chapter which is recently completed. So, this is question number 2, sir. Amalgamation. Question number 2, the question asked in examination is based on amalgamation of companies. Let me show you the question, how it was given. So, they have given some details, sir, of the balance sheet of A Limited and B Limited. Okay, together, of course, Z Limited was incorporated to take over the business of both A Limited and B Limited. So, they have given some items on liabilities and they have given some items on assets. But generally, additional information is something which really matters for us. So, let me show you the additional information. They are telling the authorized share capital details. Then, as per registered valuer, the value of equity shares of A Limited, they are giving the value of equity shares of B Limited is 12 per share and agreed by the respective shareholders. They are telling how debentures are to be settled. They are telling that a contingent liability of A to be treated as actual liability and liquidation expenses to be borne by Z. The shareholders of A Limited and B Limited is to be paid by issuing sufficient number of paid up equity shares of rupees 10 each at a premium of 10 per share. This was the question. I think any amalgamation question is mainly based on how you compute purchase consideration. If you compute purchase consideration quickly, rest of the question, I think looking at this question, almost simple adjustments only, sir. But first, let me show you the source of this question, where it was covered in our material or ICAI or past examinations or MTPs or RTPs. Now look here, this was question number 2. So where it was covered, sir, it was not covered in study material. Such a question was not there in study material, not there in RTPs, not there in MTPs, so not there in any of the sources we are having. Long back, I remember somewhere in 2008, such a question was given in the CA examination. 2008, they have given such a question. But conceptually, even today, it was within the boundaries only, sir. It was not that outside the boundary they have given, out of book. No, that is not like that. Conceptually, within only, you are able to compute purchase consideration. Rest of the question is very, very simple. Can you identify, sir, which method we are following? Is it payments method or net asset method? By looking at the information, is it payments method or net assets method? So where payments information is very clear, we follow payments method. Where it is not very clear, we follow net asset method. I think relating to consideration, only 2 points are given. Just look at these 2 points and just guess. So on what basis we'll give purchase consideration. You should get one doubt. If it is based on net assets, what will be the issue price? 10 at a premium of 10, 20. Then what? Why they have given 18 per share and 12 per share? That is intrinsic value. Huh? That means whatever you find here by using assets minus liabilities is not intrinsic value. Okay. It's not an issue when they have given amount per share. What is the amount? Straight away you can take that, sir. Already you know the number of shares, no? Number of shares into 18, number of shares into 12. You get the purchase consideration. You will issue by shares of rupees 20 each. Sir, are you getting the point? Not a big problem at all, sir. Anyway, even if you try the other way, you will not get the answer, sir. Suppose you want to go for net asset method, 5 minutes it will take time for you. After finding net assets, you will get it out. Divide by 18, divide by 20. Because two prices are available. Then once again it hits your mind, no, it's not 18. It should be divided by 20 only. That means first we should multiply with payments only. Directly, payment is clearly visible. Number of shares into amount per share. Are you getting the point, sir? This is number of shares existing in A and B. We just multiply with share price given. We'll get the purchase consideration divided by 20. We'll get the number of equity shares to be issued. Once we know that, the rest of the question is really simple, sir. Some basic journal entry only will pass for takeover. You know, business purchase to liquidator, then assets incorporation, then we write business purchase, balancing figure to capital reserve. Intercompany owings we eliminate. Any liquidation expenses bond we'll write goodwill to bank. Later on, adjustment of capital reserve to goodwill. So like that, some simple points only was given in the question. Only one point, contingent liability, they are telling us take it as actual liability. Then you will also consider in the liability. That's the only thing, sir. But otherwise, question is really simple. If you are conceptually good, there is no issue, sir. Are there any difficult points in the question, sir? Really, all of the points are covered in one or the other question, sir. It is not that you have solved it as single question, but it is covered in other questions. Only thing is that conceptual clarity, very much important, sir. Just if you practice whatever questions given 2 or 3 times, not sufficient. While listening classes, conceptual clarity required. I hope you understood. There is no big point at all, sir. Even if you try the other way, you will go wrong only. You will only understand that you are wrong. Suppose you go for net assets method, you divide by 20, 18, 12, you will get it out immediately. At that time, you will come back. No, net asset method is wrong. Definitely simple question only, sir. Only thing is that conceptual clarity is required. But generally in the examination, when you suddenly come across a question which you have not seen before, your faces will turn the other way. So just if you have that conceptual clarity, you will just feel that, okay, easy question only, little changes only we can manage. That can be obtained only by conceptual clarity. Shall we proceed, sir? So question number 1, question number 2, nowhere covered, sir, but still can be easily answered with the conceptual knowledge. So let me move to question number 3A. 2 questions are given. So it is based on which chapter? Consolidated financial statements. Of course, that consolidation. Okay, right. So let me show you the source from where it is asked, then we'll proceed. Look at the question number 3A, from where it is asked, sir. Not that in study material, RTPs, MTPs, R material, guest questions, nowhere, sir. Okay, let me show you the question. But when you look at the question, you will understand what a question is this. Okay. They'll give some liabilities, sir, maybe some reserves and surplus, trade payables due to white, then some assets details also they have given. Then look at the additional information. Very little information was given, sir. It's a new question only, just very little information. First one, during the year, Black fabricated a machine which is sold to white for 39,000. The transaction being completed on 30th March 2021. First point alone, they try to create something difficult for you, but unfortunately, they are not able to create it properly, sir. Let me tell you, sir, here what is happening? Black, I think white and black, one is holding, the other one is subsidiary. White is holding, black is subsidiary. Now, black sold the machine to white. This which type of transaction? Upstream or downstream? Upstream or downstream? Upstream. Okay, sold for 39,000. Okay, now whenever there is upstream transaction or downstream, what is your aim? What you should do? If there is any unrealized profit, it has to be eliminated. Have they given any cost details, sir? Find unrealized profit. Have they given any cost details? Oh. Because they have not given details, we cannot do anything. Or else you can take an assumption that it is transferred at cost. That's all. You have to ignore this transaction, no impact. Hello? You have to ignore this transaction, no impact. They have to try. They have tried to create something to you, but unfortunately not able to create properly. They should have given that other data also. Then only they can test from you something. They're trying to be tricky here. That's all. If you know that this point is to be left, okay. Otherwise, first by looking at first point only, okay, very good consolidation. So you may treat it in the other way. But leaving that point, let me just show you what are the information in the other. Profits were earned evenly. Then they have given opening reserves and opening profit or loss also. Now, what is the date of acquisition? I think in every question we analyze date of acquisition and date of consolidation. So, date of acquisition is on 1st October 2020, the summarized balance sheets of both the companies. Okay. Sorry, these are the balance sheets on 31st March. Acquisition was done on 1st October. And you could observe the profits, the balance of reserves and surplus was given on 1st April. You know, generally, if the opening balances were given and during the year, if acquisition was done, how to divide into capital profits and revenue profits. I think that is a simple classification. No big adjustments for that. No dividend adjustment, no bonus adjustment, no that machinery unraised profit. Nothing was there, sir. Simply, you will divide into capital and revenue. There was one point. Cash in transit from Black Limited to White Limited was 6,000 on 31st March. This was one new point once again. So what is this, sir? You can observe due to White is 30,000, sir. Due from Black is 36,000. Maybe when I have done the discussion in the classroom, at the end I have said you. Generally, they may go to final level where these two will be different. Sometimes it may be bill receivable discounted, or sometimes it may be, now here another amount, in other books another amount, it might be cash in transit. Like that, at the end I have communicated one point for you, sir, telling that generally it may not be tested in the examination. I have only communicated. It is only CA interlevel, they used to give the same amounts. Now here, you could observe 30 and 36. But maybe by little thinking, I don't think it is difficult, sir, because once they say 6,000, we'll consider their 6,000, we'll eliminate both. Oh, are you getting the point? Somewhat little adjustment. These two adjustments were, they have tried to be new for you, sir, but otherwise the balance are okay. Now, ultimately, whenever the question was new to you, that too a chapter like consolidation, right away you feel it as difficult. I know it's a, but still, conceptual clarity is the one which is required. And one more point you should know, sir, particularly when you are solving big questions. In fact, I am discussing for the same reason, sir. Whenever you are solving big questions, just because of 1 or 2 points, never get afraid, sir. Just because of 1 or 2 points, never you should be afraid, particularly in group 2. Because in group 2, all are bada chapters only, all are big chapters only, like amalgamation, consolidation, partnership accounts, 3 big chapters. Almost every chapter will be given for 15 to 20 marks. More than almost 60 marks you will be getting only from these 3 chapters, sir. 3 big bada chapters. Sir, are you getting the point? So it's not that you should be afraid because of 1 or 2 points. Because when the question is a big question and they want from you more and more points, 1 or 2 points may be outside the box, sir, or else at least something you should think. Now, suppose you have committed a mistake in that point also, they never feel that, okay, those 2 points gone wrong, entire answer will go wrong. Never they will do, sir. They will have separate allotment of marks for each and every computation. So, are you getting the point, sir? Now, I think, you know one point that mutual owings will not affect the classification. Now, I think you can start giving that basic data. You can do the classification, you can compute the minority interest, you can compute the goodwill or capital reserve. Tell me, will it be affected? Just if you start thinking these 2 points, even though they are difficult, one is that machinery transfer, the other one is these two will never affect your classification. These two will never ever affect your basic data. They will not affect your minority interest. They will not affect your goodwill or capital reserve. So almost most of the points will not be affected, sir. We write only one working note for mutual owings that may be affected, and we may write another working note for consolidated reserves and surplus. There a little effect may be there, but that 1 or 2 adjustments, for that 1 or 2 adjustments, Don't think that your entire marks will be gone. If you attempt, even if you do the mistakes for those 2 points, for 15 marks question, generally you get 13 marks or 13 and a half if you write well. Now for that 2 marks, they may reduce 2 points, they may reduce 2 marks or 2.5 marks. You will get once again that 11 marks. You getting the point? Only thing you should know is, just because 1 or 2 points are difficult for you, don't be afraid, sir. Don't be afraid. Just try. Of course, if there is any other very much comfortable question, you can go ahead and attempt that, sir. When the paper itself is like that, no, never be afraid, sir. Never afraid of new questions. They are trying to increase the level of paper examination by examination. So don't try to be afraid just by looking at 1 or 2 questions on 1 or 2 points within a question. Wherever difficult points are there, simultaneously easy points also they will attach. Overall, they'll make always paper easy only. If every paper is made difficult, now how students can answer? One paper in the entire, or 1 or max 2 can be made difficult, sir. That is okay. But every paper cannot be done. So hope you understand, in every question, some questions may be difficult. Parallelly, any question, wherever there are difficult points, easy points also similarly will be there. Hope it is clear. Amalgamation, they have made it very, very simple. I am telling you, sir, that question, very simple. Consolidation increased the trickiness at the same time. Sir, can we cover these points once again? Sir, whatever were there, we are ready to admit that it was not there in our material, and we'll include in our material. And in fact, I have said you, there are some aspects which were there still in CA final level. Consolidation is not a CA inter-topic alone, sir. There were many adjustments which was not brought. In fact, for our discussion of that consolidation, whatever we have done, almost we have taken 20 hours. We have taken some significant time discussed. When they want to cover something new, when they want to make it tricky, we can never do anything. To the extent possible, we will try to cover. Here, max 2 marks you lose, sir, even if you don't answer those 2 points, or even if you do something wrong. For that sake, we cannot do anything. Are you getting the point? So the professional examination, I am telling you multiple times, don't try to answer that entire 100 marks, or don't try to be perfect in the entire 100 marks. It's okay even if you write that 80 marks very, very well. In any practical subject, 80% marks you will easily get, sir. 80 into 80, 64 marks. There itself you will be getting. Don't worry. Don't just fear. Don't just have that fear by looking at the exam paper. That's the only thing. First, you should have confidence that you will be able to answer. That can be obtained only through your conceptual clarity and good preparation. Enough preparation, enough examinations also. Here itself, the exams also becomes important, sir. Whoever, maybe the batch is almost getting completed, sir. Of course, a few months or 1 month max. Now, what you require is, don't try to have that home preparation or something, sir, or else in another way. Definitely prepare as per a schedule, and that too along with examinations. Because now you are looking here some new points, sir. In revision exams, anyway, we will introduce new points in every question. Hello, hope you are understanding. In revision exam, suppose there are 5 or 6 questions given in the revision exam, sir. 4 questions or 3 questions maximum will be exactly or somewhat similar with some minute changes. 1 or 2 questions will bring some enough changes to get you ready for the public examinations. That will every time happen, sir. So if you are already facing changes in the questions every time in the internal exam, now you don't feel this something as really difficult. Sir, are you getting my point? So you should be writing enough number of examinations, then only you will have a clarity that you can answer any new points. Or you will be thinking there are examinations where there are where we have given some questions, sir, and the same questions, I think in group 1 once I have shown, sir, in one of the revision examinations we have asked that branch accounts question, and it was asked in the examination. It was not there in a regular material. By making some changes, we have given in revision exams the same question exactly with into 2 they have given in public exam. So hope you are understanding. So just remember once again, I am reiterating, examinations are very, very important when you are preparing. Never leave it. In fact, for writing within time also it is important, sir. For writing within time also, examinations are very, very important. So please understand that importance of revision exams. Wherever it is, whatever it is, follow a schedule and follow the revision exams. Is that clear, sir? Okay, right. So question number 3A also completed. Let me move to this 3B, sir. So what is question number 3B? 5 marks, sir. Consolidation is given for 15 marks. Well, balance 5 marks is banking companies. So let me read the question. Write a short note on non-performing assets of a banking company. I think in the sessions you will get the definition of PA and NPA. So you should write the definition of NPA. NPA is an asset in respect of which interest or installment is overdue for a period exceeding 90 days. Like that you will get a definition. Thus, D Bank provides you the following information relating to their two cash credit accounts. I think such a question was there exactly in our material. Now let me show you, sir. Okay. So this was the question. CRT 2, sir, in our material. State with reason whether the following cash credit accounts are NPA or not. In our material, 3 scenarios were given because they want to ask for only 5 marks. They have given only 2 scenarios. Same headings, sir. All the same 5 will be there. All the same 5. And I think you know how do we generally present in the examination that question. We'll just, I'll just show you, sir. Now, we'll just observe, is amount outstanding greater than sanction limit or drawing power for a continuous period of 90 days or not? So, amount outstanding is there. We'll observe these two. Here, we'll mention yes or no. Then once again, we'll check. If that is, if the amount outstanding is less, then we have to do another check. Is credit in the account is insufficient to cover the interest debited? So if it is insufficient, now hello, you will write yes. If it is not insufficient, no. Only when both these conditions are not satisfied, you are a PA, sir, not an NPA. If any of these conditions, because both are the conditions of default, either amount outstanding is greater than sanction limit or drawing power, or your credits are insufficient to cover the interest debited, or no credits. So these are all the conditions of default. Any of the conditions satisfied, NPA. Here one condition satisfied, NPA. If none of the conditions are satisfied only, you become a PA. That is not a NPA. So like that you will solve that question. Exactly similar, sir. Only some minute value changes, that's all. But otherwise, same question. In fact, let me show you where it was covered in our materials also, sir. So this is what MTPs, it was also there. That's all. Okay, right. In our revision exams also, we have repeatedly given. Okay, right. Next, we have given 90%, just only little changes in values, and one case was reduced. That was the percentage of similarity I have given. Now let me proceed with this. Question number 3 was completed. Now let me move to question number 4. So this is based on what, sir? Basic understanding of dissolution of partnership firms. I think partnership firms not yet started till now. But anyway, let me show you, sir, a similar question which was there in our material for partnership. So this was the question, sir. They have given 3 partners, Ajay, Vijay, Sanjay, sharing profits in the ratio of 7:7:4. Here you can look after P, Q, R and S, sharing profits in the ratio of 3:3:2:1. Here 3 partners are there. There how many partners are there? 4 partners. Okay. Then next, look, let me read the additional information. You will get some clarity. The following frauds were committed by Sanjay. Investments costing 8,000 sold by Sanjay at 11,000 and funds were transferred to his personal account. Now, 8,000 sold by R at 11,000 and funds transferred to his personal account. Maybe amounts also exactly same. Let me show you. Check for 7,000 received from trade debtors was not recorded in the books and was misappropriated. Check for 7,000 not recorded and was misappropriated. Trade creditor agreed to take over investments 9,000 at 10,000 and offered a discount. 9,000 at 10,000 offered a discount. You could observe the values also. They have not changed the values also, sir. They have given values also same. Maybe next values are different only. Let me accept that. Now inventory 1,20,000, building 110%, investments, trade debtors, building, stock, investments, debtors, bills payable was settled at a discount, expenses of dissolution, private assets value. You could observe the question was exactly same and what they are asking also exactly same. Realization, partners capital, cash and bank. Here also realization, cash account, partners capital. Now, but let me show you where we have covered it. Where we have covered it. ACSP 7, category 4. There. That means, is it fully not covered or is it covered? Let me tell you, sir, these points were regularly there in our material. Only these 2 points, something relating to fraud, which was very easy to analyze. Sir, a check received from debtors not recorded in the books and was misappropriated by R. You don't know anything. Now you tell me, because this point was not there in the CRD also. But this point, even though it was there in the additional questions, we felt that you can easily answer. Now tell me, suppose you need to write an entry for this. What entry you will write? A check received from debtor, sir. It was not recorded in the books. Now misappropriated by R. Now today you should adjust. Now tell me what is the entry? You will receive the amount. No. You have received the amount. No. Tell me. Bank account debtor to? Oh, bank account debtor to? No. R has misappropriated, right? So to that extent, R capital balance should be reduced. I hope you are getting the point. And similarly, debtors reduction, whenever check received from debtors, to that extent, debtors reduction is required. Am I right or not? So to that extent, we'll record the debtors reduction also. Hello, are you getting the point, sir? Anyway, when they verify it, so cash balance will be reflected. Only thing is that how it will affect the partner's capital and how you should reflect in debtors, like that you should understand. You getting the point, sir? First thing we should write that bank to debtor, then it should be reflected through misappropriation was done. No, taken away. That cash was taken away. It's like a loss which we adjust to partners capital. I have given you net impact on balance sheet, sir. Bank balance has to be debited, sir. Bank will be there. Debtor also to be reduced. Later on, it should be recorded as a loss by charging to partners capital. Fully, generally, whatever loss is there, we charge to every partner in the regular ratio, profit sharing ratio. Here we directly charge to whom, sir? Only one, to that one person. Like that, sir, few journal entries will be there. I don't think these journal entries will be difficult. Just the regular basic knowledge of journal entries, 2 or 3 little journal entries, if you impact, that is simple. Rest of the questions, I can tell these points regularly will be repeated in our other questions. Once you go to that chapter, so remember my words and try this question, ACSP 7, whether you will be able to answer or not, you will understand. But I can say comfortably you can answer, even though suppose you feel it as difficult. Once again, the same point I repeat, never just get fear out of 2 or 3 new points. Try to answer that. Even if it is wrong, nothing will go wrong, sir. All other points you will be doing correctly. They will be awarding marks, sir. Maybe you will they will remove 2 marks, sir, because of your mistake. Or consequential effect, another 2 marks. That's all. 2 or 3 marks. But the regular, you will get that 70% marks or 60% marks as usual. Don't leave a question as it is. You have to try to the extent possible. That too when we are having big chapters like this. Sir, is this clear, everybody? So you could observe from each and every source we are covering, sir. So even generally, once that CRD is completed and assignment is completed, if you have time, the next thing that we recommend, at the starting only I might have communicated, the next thing to be looked after is only category 4. Category 1 and 2 are basic level only. 1 is basic level, 2 is with little changes. Like that we have already described, sir. To the extent possible, if time is available for, but it is okay, even if it is given from 4, you can answer, because only minute changes will happen. You should accommodate that. That is what I am repeatedly telling. Conceptual clarity, and at least whatever you prepare, you have to prepare well. In the material, we have arranged all the sources to the extent possible, wherever required, from RTBs, MTBs, everything we have given there. Still, if they try to create new, that has to be answered only with your conceptual clarity. Shall we proceed, sir? So this is what? Question number 4A. Once again given for 15 marks. Then 4B, sir. Now explain the nature of LLP. Who can be a designated partner in a LLP and what are their liabilities? Like that a question was given, sir. Now I can say it will be covered in theory discussion, sir. LLP is always an important topic. Now clearly that discussion will happen. Who is a designated partner in an LLP? what is their liability, like that will be there, sir. Anyway, in the classroom also that will be there, not just this, sir, sorry, here we'll be having. Now that in short answer questions also we have given that nature of LLP, who can be a designated partner in a LLP, like that we already have that question, but I don't say you generally prepare that short answer questions. But one thing I can say, in the classroom, whenever we communicate few theory, to that extent at least you should prepare. And NLP is a topic which everybody will discuss. It's one of the important topics. And let me tell you one thing, sir. Shall we prepare theory questions for the examinations? You will have the doubts. Is there any theory questions that should be prepared? Sir, actually, if you start preparing lots of questions, then time may not be sufficient. Only thing we can do is, we'll be having a source, sir, which will be given to you later. All the theory questions which were asked in the past. Separate theory booklet will be given to you. Hello, what is that? Separate theory booklet. Not covering many questions, sir. Max together you will have from the entire subject 20 or 30. That's all. Max together from the entire subject. If you prepare to that extent, definitely you can answer, sir. Theory questions very less in number. We cannot guarantee that will be definitely will be asked or not. But if they ask, definitely from that source only they'll be asking. In theory, never they'll test anything new, sir. Most of the time they ask frequently. And in partnership, LLP was a concept for which they regularly ask, sir. So any theory question. So be ready with that theory. What I'm telling is there will be a theory booklet. So whenever time is available, not now, at the time of preparation. So when you are preparing any related chapter in revision exam, go and look after that theory, one or two questions also during at the public examination. If you just spend 1 hour before the day, that is sufficient for that theory. I hope it is clear. So don't leave any theory questions. Accounting generally less. In advanced accounting, more topics are there, more scope is there for theory questions. Okay, right. Let me proceed. So with this, question number 4 was completed, sir. Now let me move to question number 5. 5A, this is based on what, sir? Buyback and equity shares with differential voting rights. Before moving to where it was given, I'll show you. I'll just read the question and tell me, have you ever seen it or not? Similar question. Share capital was given, general reserve, securities premium, P&L, statutory reserve, capital reserve. These 2 reserves were extra given, sir. Loan funds were given. On the recommendation of Board of Directors, on 16th September 2021, the shareholders of the company have approved a proposal to buyback of equity shares. The prevailing market value of the company share is 20, and in order to induce, it was decided to offer 50%. These points you have. The company had sufficient balance in its bank account. You are required to compute the maximum number of shares that can be bought back in the light of above information, and also a situation where the loan funds of the company were either 1680 or 2100. Similar question was there, sir, covering all the 3 situations, where we know in 2 situations buyback will not be possible only. Only in 1 situation buyback will be possible. Somewhat similar only, sir. Let me show you. Second question only in buyback. This was the question, sir. Parrot Limited. Instead of having this infrastructure development reserve, they have created 2 more extra reserves, sir. But that inducing extra 20%, 25 rupees per share, then that other situations, exactly same. Ultimately, they're asking to compute the maximum number of shares and then the journal entries. That's all. Both the cases. Same question, sir, with just a change in values. But let me tell you one point here, sir. Usually I say in the chapters also, whenever time possible, we discuss that concept questions also, telling that just read that concept question. Suddenly in the examination, they may try to bring some changes. These are some possible changes which are possible, like that we used to give, sir. And few chapters will give it very carefully required. Now just look at these concept questions which we have given, sir, in the material. The first concept question. If there is CRR of 180 lakhs instead of infrastructure development reserve, then if there is capital reserve of 20 lakhs and share outstanding, like that we have given 3 extra points, sir, if this information was given. Now you could observe in the examination, in addition the reserve they have asked is that CRR. Now it was one of the concept questions we have placed in the material only, sir. It was one of the concept questions. I don't say that every examination, everything it will match. But possibility is that because we are trying to bring some additional changes, such changes only the paper setter also may bring. You should be thinking, sir. Always the thinking process should never go wrong. You should always have that thinking process. Conceptual clarity only will help you to have that thinking process. Is that clear, everybody? Okay, right. Now, let me continue, sir. Next. So, I think this question I did not explain. You can understand exactly same question, sir. Let me show you. I think I'm not showing this weightage, right? 3B. 4A partnership and this one, sir. In our material, it was there. I have shown you ACSP 7 and SAQ 4. And now, unfortunately, till now you could observe it was not there in the guest questions. The paper was out of the area, sir. So they have not asked the regular questions. They have given either those questions which the student, which are not there in the source anywhere, study material or somewhere, or else they have given something which is difficult. But it is okay, sir. Now, let me show you. Here, buyback, we are having that in guest questions. Let me tell you frankly, this time, now this was the only attempt I think, sir, I have seen where from guest questions we are having very less marks, sir. I can say we are accepting it. 35 marks is really less only, sir. Actually, guest questions minimum, if not 60 is the bare minimum we used to have every time. 60 is bare minimum. There are attempts where from guest questions alone 80 marks were also asked, sir. From guest questions alone 80 to 85 marks asked, sir. So we used to say proudly, but anyway, now because of the examination only it happened, sir. I've said you 1 out of the 8 or 2 out of the 8 may be out of the box. Here, though they have given some new questions, I don't feel it's really difficult, sir. Just it is only what, sir, by adding some 1 or 2 new points, just like that amalgamation, simple questions only. You will know once you know the concept. That's all. 1 or 2 papers can be striked, sir. Now this time they have striked with advanced accounting. Not difficult. They're trying to be tricky. That's all. Shall we proceed, sir? Okay, right. So guest questions. This buyback is covered, sir. Let me move to another question which was given next. 5B. Once again based on banking. Already one 5 marks question was asked from banking. Now there is another 10 marks. Altogether 15 marks asked from banking. Okay, right. So which question was asked, sir? Car. The question on car was asked. What is that car? Capital adequacy ratio. Okay, right. Similar, sir, you will have the tier 1 fund and tier 2 fund computation. I'll just show you the answers right away. So you will have the tier 1 computation. Similar computation will be there, sir. Tier 2 computation will be there. Then assets we will write and write the percentage. And we have that similar question also in our material. In fact, we have covered even more points. 180. So you could observe equity share capital. We have given perpetual non-cumulative, like that we have given. They have simply given equity share capital only. Statutory reserve, securities premium, capital reserve. All these points were covered, sir. Statutory reserve, securities premium, that capital reserve, out of which how much were due to revaluation. All these points were covered, sir. In assets also we have covered more. Loans guaranteed by government, PSU, advance against term deposits, leased assets, like that many things we have given, sir. The examination, they have reduced those assets. It is common. Claims on banks, all these things are common. One new point alone they have added, sir. One new point alone. I think this was asked way back some 5 or 6 years back. Once they have covered this point. This is one of the point which will just influence your risk percentage, sir. Are you getting my point? I think you have to compute the risk percentage, right? In one of these points, you have to place the risk percentage. Generally in ICAI study material or even in our material, we have not covered this something called as 20%. If at all, bank staff advances were given, advances were given to the bank staff covered by the superannuation benefit, then the banking companies, they create only a provision of 20%. Are you getting the point, sir? Sir, how could we know it, sir? You cannot know it. You cannot know it, sir. Because if we start really learning that in other words, that capital adequacy ratio provision percentages, I'll tell you, risk percentages alone, for knowing the risk percentage alone, if I open the notification, you will be having 14 pages. 14 pages just for giving you the risk percentages alone. Almost 100 to 120 classifications was there of assets, because you here there you might have learned simply investments into two, sir. Investments in government securities and in others, that's all. 100 and 0 over. Government securities means 0, others means 100% risk. Like that you will learn. Really investments have subdivision of 30 to 40 points. They subdivide listed, unlisted, even in listed also mutual funds or government securities, like that they just divide like anything, sir. All those things we cannot learn for examination. Intentionally, if they want to ask one or two difficult points, we cannot do anything, sir. This is one of the points. Nobody can go and learn that, sir. You can do mistake, but I will tell you once again, that mistake will not trouble you a lot. That will max lose you 1 mark only, sir. Because out of those many risk items, only one item you will commit wrong. They will try to give you 1 or 2 new points to trouble you, sir, to make you think that this question you don't know. But you should not fear from that. That is what I am regularly telling. That clear, sir? Prepare the material properly, sir. Have that conceptual clarity. Attempt that revision exams very well. Sufficient, sir. And in fact, guess questions also, whenever time is there, observe it, sir. I don't say every attempt it will be like this only. This, I think I have analyzed exam papers like this for the past 6 batches, sir. In none of the batches, I am just communicating that this guess paper, guess questions is 35, just pass mark in 10th class pass mark. Never like that, sir. So always minimum 60 or above only we have communicated. And none of the papers we get out of study material also, sir. Most all these attempts we are getting from study material. I'm not telling our material also, at least. We are getting from study material itself, at least 70 to 80%. Here you could observe, sir. In our list, how many was there from the study material? This is study material column, sir. This is study material column. Just observe how many were given. It was only blanks. It was only blanks for many questions. So, thereby you should understand, sir, conceptual clarity is required. More sources also to be prepared. Just prepare the material, have that conceptual clarity, attempt more examinations so that you can be able to understand how new points can be asked. Okay, right, sir. So that is what question number 5. Now let me enter into the standards questions. Of course, question number 6. Here you will be having what, sir? Both standards as well as normal chapters. So let me show you this. Question number 6. First 6A, it is based on segment reporting. Hello, what is that, sir? It is based on segment reporting. 5 segments are there. Profit or loss of each of the segments has been provided below. You are required to identify whether they are reportable or not. On which test, sir? On the basis of profitability test. I think to call it as reportable, we have got 3 or 4 tests, sir. First thing is based on 10% threshold. We observe that 10% limits. Okay, segment reporting is not yet fully completed. Don't worry. There we communicate 3 tests, sir. One is based on revenue, one is based on result, the other one is based on asset. Revenue in the sense sales, result in the sense profit or loss. Then the third one assets. Like the 3 tests will be there. There are questions where we cover all the 3 tests, sir. Now they have given only single test for this many marks. I'll just show you, sir, how it was there in the material. Okay, you could observe in this question, they give the data and they're asking which is to be reported. All the tests will be done, sir. One of the test is segment results. They have given this column and all. Are you getting the point? Segment results, profit or loss was given. In examination also they have done the same. Segments was given, some profit or loss was given. One of the tests only they have asked. Actually we used to discuss all the 3 tests. I can say if you prepare that CRT2 comfortably, you can answer that questions. It is really put before question number 2. That is what I can say. Is that clear, sir? So thereby question is covered, and in that way let me show you where it is given. It is one of the important questions also, sir. Regularly it will be there in our guest questions also, revision exams also. Number of times we have asked. This is the source. Study material also it was there. Now let me proceed to the next question. Question number 6B. So it is based on what, sir? Buyback. Already on buyback you have got one question. Of course this is on equity shares with differential rights. This is on what? Equity shares with differential rights. I think you know there is a question like this, sir, where you will having the Equity shareholders and preference shareholders. If both equity shareholders and preference shareholders attend the meeting, there is a Lilliput question. On that day only I have said you, though these Lilliput, this will be regularly asked in the examination. I have said you on that day only. So just based on the capital held by each of them, we will allocate the voting rights. That question they have asked, sir. It was there in our material also. I'll just show you. So this was the question. CRD also same, just because here similar numbers, we have attached this. Are you getting the point, sir? So what are the voting rights? Here it is 40 lakhs and 20 lakhs. In examination, it is 1 crore and 50 lakhs. Like that you will have. Here 3 partners, there 4 partners, but otherwise same. But one more point extra, sir. Let me read that extra point. 5 marks. Maybe this can be considered as 3 marks or 4 marks. Now there is another point. Also, the company proposing to issue equity shares with DVR to the extent of 50 lakhs, assuming the company fills other conditions pertaining to the issue of shares with DVR, can the company issue shares with DVR, differential voting rights? In company law, have you come across a topic called DVR, differential voting rights? I think even I have communicated, sir, when I am discussing that buyback, explaining clearly how AGM will happen on a full day, how AGM will happen. I have said you the purpose of DVR, everything, etc. And in law, you will get in-depth, sir. Against rules, you will apply in questions also. That along with DVR total, the DVR share shall not exceed some 76%, 74, like that you got a amendment also. Previously, it used to be 26%, sir. Later on, there was an amendment that it has increased to 74. Like that, in your law, you will learn more. In accounts, actually, we don't apply more. We just learn about what can be issued with differential rights, what cannot be issued, and the basic purpose. Here, they have tested a point from law only. I should say that. But it is not difficult. They want to issue 50 lakhs, sir. Already we have to observe the existing capital. Based on that, we should say whether it exceeds 74% or not. In that way, we will answer. It is not exceeding. They can easily issue. 74% can be there up DVR. So here 50 lakhs means out of that they are already having balance 1 lakh or something. It is okay. They cannot, sorry, they can happily go for DVR. Is that clear, sir? One point you should answer with your law knowledge. They'll try to combine the subjects also sometimes. But anyway, it is okay. If you have, if you are writing group 1 and group 2 differently, then maybe little bit difficult. You might have forgot those points, but otherwise it's okay. Next, let me move to question number 6, sir. In examination source also, you could observe, we ignored that DVR point, sir, the balance, because 3 marks will be, main marks will be there for only voting rights points, sir. So it was covered in everywhere, even in the guest questions also, sir. I am not showing this one actually. Now you could understand how it was given, the CRD number also. This is in standards, right? Sorry, buyback. Just show you. All these were covered, sir, when I have given the number. So it was problem number 4. So you could observe assignment 4, it was covered in our buyback. So that is what. All the questions till now, sir, may it be buyback. So CRD 2 I have said. May it be the banking companies. The last question which we have seen on capital adequacy ratio. So like that, these were already covered. Okay, right. Now, let me move to the next question. 6C. Just a big stroke to the students like anything. Read the question. What are the disclosure requirements for operating leases by the lessee as per AS 90? Only for very few standards we recommend you to prepare disclosure requirements. Let me tell you one thing. Even after this question, we still don't recommend you to prepare disclosure requirements. Because if you start preparing disclosure requirements, it will be huge, sir, for all the standards. Here their intention is very simple. We are giving 5 questions, no. We are giving internal choice, no. I don't want to give you internal choice. That is what their intention. Because this question nobody can answer, sir. I can say definitely not so easy. Who will prepare disclosure requirements, sir? That to theoretically writing, nobody can do it. Sir, their intention is very clear. They don't want to give an internal choice there. They want to make you write all other questions. Is that clear, sir? That is what their clear intention. Nobody can answer it, sir. No student can prepare to that length, sir. Maybe out of those entire students written, hardly 5 or 10 right that to correctly. It is great, sir. I'm telling you frankly. Nobody will be able to do it because nobody expects it, sir. There are standards where disclosure requirements are given. That everybody will prepare, sir. Disclosure requirements for every standard, if you go on preparing, there will be no end to it, sir. And we can never do it. Even after giving the examination, we still don't recommend you to read that disclosure requirement. 5 marks, leave it. That's all. Professional examination. Don't expect 125 marks to be written. You should know it. So, okay, even if you write that 80 marks. Okay, right. Next. Question number 6D, sir. It was there, though it was covered, so you could observe. Point number 6C. It was there in the material, but we don't say it is still, you can answer, sir. I will not there. The next. Question number 6D. It is based on liquidation of companies. I think this chapter was not completed, right? Liquidation of companies. Anyway, let me show you from where it was asked. Question number 6D. Look at the question, sir. It was not there from any of the sources. Actually, we have this concept, sir. If at all they are different paid up, what to do? That concept was there. 70% of the question can be answered, sir, frankly speaking. These points only, calls in areas, calls in advance, this used to be there in separate questions, sir, instead of there in a single question. So there I have asked in a single question. In fact, this was a old practice manual question. Way before that old syllabus, this was an old practice manual question. They have copy pasted it. That's all. That clear, sir? Anyway, have to be little conceptual only. I don't say it is out of the boundary. Now, this question is out of the syllabus. Undoubtedly, I'll say out of the syllabus. Nobody will prepare only. But this question, within your knowledge, conceptually, you have to be perfect. That's all. Next. Question number 6E. Illy put question that ESOP. Let me show you the page number 54. Exactly same question will be there, sir. I hope you remember that CRD3, where for 750 employees we will offer. Within the year only everything will happen, and that too there will be some post-vesting restrictions. Whenever that post-vesting restrictions are there, so we'll take which one, that 67 only instead of considering that 72. I think when we are doing revisions also, 1 or 2 times I have focused on the same question, sir. So given for 5 marks, exactly same. So they're talking 56. 60, and they have made it simple for you in the examination by giving the fair value directly. Here actually you should compute by picking one of those two. In the examination they have made it simple, telling that 56 minus 50, option value is 6. Directly you can proceed with 6. Made the question even more simple. That was the only change done in the examination. But otherwise rest of the points are simple. You can comfortably answer with our knowledge. So that is what, sir. So let me quickly go to that first question. So we'll take 5 minutes extra. That's all. We'll close this. The first question number 1. This is AS5. Now let me read it, sir. TQ cycles is in the manufacturing of bicycles, a labor-intensive manufacturing sector. In April 2022, the government enhanced the minimum wages payable to workers with retrospective effect from 1st Jan 2022. I think you remember there will be a question, sir. Increase in wages with retrospective effect in AS5. Regularly we discuss it, sir. I choose to tell whenever retrospective increase was there, it's an ordinary but exceptional. Like that we used to learn. Anything do you remember? Assumption has to be taken. Number of assumptions required in accounts. We expect the same. Okay, right. Due to this legislative change, additional wages for the period from Jan to March amounted to 30 lakhs. The management asked the finance manager to charge 30 lakhs as prior period. Will that become a prior period, sir? Any retrospective increase? No, because there will not be any error or omission. Like this, long ago, discussion has happened. Okay, anyway, we have got some long-term memory, so with which definitely expect you to remember a lot. Okay, right. So this was a similar question, sir. A company signed an agreement with the employees union for revision of wages with retrospective effect. So this would cause additional liability. So this was the similar question where we clearly say this is, I used to clearly communicate, please write in the answer that is not a prior period item. I have said you in classroom discussion also, always you have to mention that it's not a prior period, it's not a prior period. In the question they have asked the same, asking whether it is a prior period or not. So thereby conceptual clarity, very much important, particularly in standards. So these times standards, they have given conceptual only. Let me show you the next question. This question, it was given like that, sir. So it was covered in our material. In the guest questions, it was not given. Anyway, let me show you. All the standard questions were not there in the guest questions. Only very few important questions were only said you. This time it was out of the box, sir. Accepted. But don't expect same time. Most of the times guest questions will be really important to you. Even if you prepare that, conceptually you'll be covering some important aspects. Okay, right. Next, quickly. Question number 1B based on AS20 EPS. It was not the model which we expect, sir, but a very conceptual question, sir. They're testing your concept like anything. I'll show you. Equity shares given, preference shares given, PAT was given. That means that pays amount was given, sir. PAT given means then bonus issue of 1 for every 2 was done on 1st January only. They have issued 2 lakh equity shares at a price of 7.60. Another issue was also done. Normal issue was done. Bonus issue was also done. And their shares were trading at 8.05 at the year end. Leave it, sir. Further, it has been provided the basic earnings for the last year is 62.3. Last year basic earnings also they are giving. What they are asking, sir? Calculate the basic earnings to be reported in the current year. Tell me, 2 set of shares were issued, sir. One is bonus shares, the other one is fresh issue. Bonus shares will be considered from which period? What is the effective date? From the last date of the previous reporting period. So we assume that these bonus shares were there right from the beginning of the last year. That means current year also we assume that it is there for full year. Are you getting the point, sir? Next, the 2 lakh shares issued at full market price of 7.6. Now this is what's our fresh issue. That's all. Hello. This is what's our fresh issue. So fresh issue means you will consider from the date of issue only. So this you will consider for 3 months. Bonus you will consider for entire months. Now fresh issue you will consider only for 3 months. Now look at that second question, how conceptually they are asking. Explain why bonus issue of shares and shares issued at full market price are treated differently in the calculation of the basic EPS. Now simply they are asking why you are considering bonus from the beginning of the last year. You getting the point, sir? For that you need to give some enough answer telling that for comparison purpose it should be there right from the beginning of the last year. Like that little discussion required. The answer also. Of course, I have said you both period approach can be used, transaction wise approach can be used. Here they try to use that period approach. For the first 9 months, they try to make it inclusive of bonus into 3/2 directly. Or else you can add that bonus also, then also you'll get the same. Because 10 lakhs plus 5 lakh also gives you 15 lakhs, or 10 lakhs into 3/2 also gives you 15 lakhs. Both the way it is same. Now here they are adding that 2 lakhs for the last 3 months. They are following that period approach, sir. You can follow transaction wise approach also. Just you will give some explanation that bonus shares were assumed to be there right from the beginning of previous period. So like that you have to give bonus as shares are for no consideration. So there are, whereas this is for full consideration. That's why we do take, because resources doesn't change, no change in resources, thereby it is assumed to be there from the last year. They require some conceptual answer. So hope it is. Next, let me go to question number C, sir. So it is based on AS29. AS29 provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets. Next break. Okay, don't worry. Whatever I take in excess, you will be compensated. So I'll just inform. Don't worry. Right, next. Question number 1C, sir. Provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets. Let me show you a similar question in our material also. So first let me deal with this point 2, sir, that lawyer question. A case was filed against the company in the consumer court and a notice for levy of penalty of 50 lakhs has been received. Company has appointed a lawyer to defend the case for 5 lakhs. 60% of the fee paid in advance, rest will be paid after the finalization. There are 70% chances that penalty may not be levied. So if 70% chances that penalty may not be levied, provision required? Not required. But for lawyer fee, provision is required. We are having exactly the same question in our material. The first question only. Percentage alone different, sir. Exactly same. Percentage alone different. So you can easily answer. Next, a company installed a huge furnace on their plant. The furnace has a lining that needs to be replaced every 5 years for technical reasons. At the balance sheet date, company does not provide any provision for replacing of furnace. I have shown you on that day while discussing the AS29 also. There was an assignment question. This was asked in the exam. Lining, I've shown you, I've discussed separately in the classroom, telling that conceptually you can answer once you know that airline overcraft. I think I've said you on that day examples of airline aircraft or smoke filters fitting, and I'm communicating that this can be answered with a similar knowledge. We are having similar CRD. Anyway, it is covered in our material in the form of assignment. That is what, sir. Next, let me go to the last question. Question number 1D. It is based on construction contracts, sir. Let me show you the similar question to assignment 10. You could observe what are the facts given. Fixed contract price, but they have given that escalation clause. In one of the question, we apply there that escalation clause, sir. Work certified will be given, work uncertified. You know, together if we add, we'll get the cost incurred. Then further estimated cost. When you know cost incurred and further estimated cost, you can find percentage of work completed. When you know the total contract price, then if you multiply, you will get total contract revenue for the period. So like that you can compute, sir. Anyway, progress payment received and payment to be received, sir, given. But these amounts are required only when you need to find that gross amount due from or due to customers. Otherwise, generally, that progress payment received or paid not required. They have given intentionally to confuse you, but otherwise not a difficult question. They're asking only contract revenue and profit or loss for the period and any additional provision. That's all. In our question also, here also contract price, work certified, uncertified, estimated cost, progress, everything will be there. Profit or loss will be there. Then revenue, everything will be there. But instead we also ask you what's the amount due from or due to customers. That clear, sir? Almost you can definitely easily answer with this existing knowledge. This is what 1D, sir, not asked in guest questions, but hope you have understood, sir, how they were asking in the examination. Not a cakewalk at all, not a cakewalk at all. You have to be little careful conceptually to be perfect, and whatever questions are there, you have to practice well also. Revision exams is required, and that guest questions I'm telling you, this time only it happened, but we should be good conceptually and never try to attempt that 100 marks. So these are some conclusions I'm giving, sir. Never try to attempt 100 marks, not required. If you are able to do it, it's very good, sir. But don't try for that and write something unnecessarily. Do properly, sir, for whatever marks you write. Professional examination, know it. You can never get everything what you prepare. Some strokes will definitely be there, and never get fear by looking at one or two points. And just you might have observed one or two concept questions also getting replaced. Number of times you should be thinking, sir. That thinking process should never go away. You are getting the points. And paper also, this time few questions, because it was out, definitely not so easy, sir. It will take some time, sir. Big questions were given. So you should be good in your time management also, sir. So maybe general, I think once again Prakash sir, I think will take a separate class on that. I have said that. Okay, but time management is also important. So you should take some enough time for writing those questions which you start first. Generally first 40 or 50 marks you have to write very, very well, sir. There you take enough time. Then looking at the time whatever is there, you have to proceed with balance. The time management is also very, very important with some good handwriting skills. Anyway, that's all, sir. This is what the analysis of question paper. Hope you have understood. Once again, let me reiterate, though we have taken this much analysis, as I have said you in the last session, so we are just like actors who will be there before you. So there were the directors, sirs, they were only creating everything, the enough resources, everything for you. They'll create that curriculum, starting from the material. I've said you on that day. So for material preparation, for every standard we take almost some 3 to 4 days. I have spent for creating every standard 3 to 4 days time. For every one standard I'm telling, 3 to 4 days time. And in that half day along with Prakash sir every time for every standard. So it was a lots of discussion, lots of changes, trying to make it proper to you, sir. To make it efficient, number of times we'll be sitting together, we'll be making changes. Anyway, out of 4 days, half days, I used to sit with Prakash sir. Like that, now in that 4 days, balance half days I will spend with another subject. Are you getting the point? Now it's fully occupied only. So Anyway, so they're just like director of a movie only, sir. Will be framing everything. We'll just observe, okay, how it is to be planned. We'll make our own changes to make it beautiful, just like an actor will just make their own changes suddenly to make it beautiful. That's the only thing. So efforts has to be accepted, sir. If someone is doing their efforts, and because of that, if we are delivering before you, just like some the actors, they agree that everything, every efforts go, it has to be accepted genuinely. They are doing lots of efforts in that we are trying to present before you. That's all. To understand their efforts. Okay, right, sir. That's all. With this, we are ending the session. Thank you.